Hello YouTubers and welcome to the channel. I'm sat down on this video because I'm tired and I'm tired at the amount of rubbish that's being pushed out to the Magic community at the present moment, and how nice all the other review channels seem to be about the rubbish that's being pushed out to our fraternity. So with no further ado, let's talk about the Oracle system by Ben Seidman. Pause for thumbnail photograph. Okay, so when a product has 10 pages in the Green Slime forum, the place that I can't mention because it looks like I'm banned. So anyway, nice to the open community. What do you get in Ben Seidman's the Oracle system? Now, for starters, this is from Vanishing Ink, and Vanishing Ink tends to produce really beautiful products. They put a lot of time and effort into it. It's a beautiful box. You get a nice vegan leather. No idea what vegan leather means. I don't know. Did the cow commit suicide and therefore it's not cruelty to animals? I've got no idea. It feels to me like leather. So I don't know. Maybe the cow was vegan. I'm not quite sure. But to me, it is quite nicely produced. You know, it feels like something that you put tarot cards in. You know, it's not plasticky or anything. I like this kind of like faded gold inlay. It kind of looks aged. And then you pull the tarot cards out and they're brand new. Now what you get is you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You actually get 6 tarot cards. You can decide if you want to include the lovers and swap out the devil. As you can see with these cards, they are similar design to the tarot, to the standard rider deck tarot cards. As you can see, the back's very similar. So if a person that you're performing to has seen these tarot cards before, they'll recognize them. What Ben has done is he's added a lot more color. I don't have one to show you compare with, but the colors are a lot more contrasting. And that's because basically they're going to do a color match. So obviously you want them to stand out. The standard tarot deck tends to be very samey color. So you get 2 piles of matching tarot cards. And there's these. And the basic effect is you predict the decisions that the spectator is going to make. The basic effect is you place down 1 card first, and the spectator face down. Spectator places their card down, then you place another one, and they place another down, until you've handed all the cards out, and then you show that the decisions you made prior to the spectator matched. That's what it looks like in the spectator's mind. Now, there is several different ways this trick can end. You can either match with the very first card, in which case you've got a miracle, hallelujah, and you can end there. Actually, that's too short for me. But Ben does give another handling. If that does happen, you can do it again with another spectator, and hopefully there's a different outcome and a different ending. Basically, that's the effect. Nothing really new. Magicians have been matching playing cards. We've been matching SP cards. I saw Max Maven perform this, I think, probably in the 70s, the 80s with ASP cards, where, in fact, it's probably an identical routine. So the actual, the effect, the method isn't nothing new. Not quite sure what Ben's been, keeping to himself for the past decade, other than the fact that I quite like the idea of these being tarot cards. And I think that's what the selling effect of this routine is. And having read the 10 pages in the Green Slime site, everyone seems to be hung up on Ben has withheld TV performance rights. Hands up, how many magicians are actually performing magic on TV or YouTube, or social media? I mean, if you're going to present it onto your YouTube channel and you're making millions of hits, I'll be interested to find out exactly how Ben's going to police that. It's global copywriting laws. I think it's a nightmare to actually police. However, I think including that has put a lot of people off, which is a shame in one way, and a good way for us, like the performers and the people who have purchased it, because it means not everyone's doing it. And I think it's one of these effects that I think if everyone did it, it would kill the effect. When are you going to do this effect as well? So like say, this is the basics effect. It's a matching card routine. Because you're using tarot cards, it really brings the interest up. And to the spectator, the effect is different. I have done this using SP cards for many, many years, certainly in front of my friends and family. I performed this and no one went, oh, that's the same trick you do with the SP cards, because that's not how spectators' minds work. It's a completely different card, therefore it's a completely different trick. And also, because you're using tarot cards, you're able to do like a warm reading on the spectator. Now, this is really what Ben's pushing. This is what this effect is all about, is the fact that you're now able to do a warm reading on someone that this person's thinking about, because you now know which tarot card they associate with that person. So if they're looking at the Fool, for example, they've placed the Fool down, you know that the person they're thinking about is, a bit of a Jack the Lad, somebody who they've laughed at before, and you can really get some really good hits, spend some time, write all the cards down and come up with some key kind of statements you can make against each card that kind of fits 99%. You're going to have to put some work in. Ben hasn't done that. Now, I would expect it for $30. I would have expected at least a script or some key points that you can say about each individual card. That's not included. There's a 10-20 minute talk with Luke Chimay, which I found completely waste of time. Sorry for you Luke Chimay fans. I didn't get anything out of that section whatsoever. I think Luke Chimay just looked bored, and also they didn't really talk about these particular tarot cards, the kind of characteristics you can incorporate it. In fact, Ben and Luke seemed to at one point disagree with each other. Ben handed the cards out to a friend and said, tell me what type of people each of these cards represent, where Luke had obviously gone in, studied the tarot and come up with the actual persons. 90% of the people you're going to perform with are not going to understand the tarot cards. I've toyed with the idea of going through the cards and maybe giving the spectator some kind of key words to kind of help. I actually find just handing the cards out and letting the spectator come up in their own minds. It seems to be different. The Ben says that most people pick the Emperor first time. That's not my experience, unfortunately. I've decided to keep the Devil because I thought the Devil was more entertaining and interesting than the Lovers, so I've took the Lovers out. As for, and here's the big secret, and I don't think it's a big secret because it's all over the internet, they're actually marked tarot cards. They are marked in such a way that you could hand this out to someone and they would spend days trying to find it. What I like to do with a marked deck is the first thing I do is don't look at the instructions. I look at the back to see if I can work it out myself. Now, I spent about an hour looking at the back of these. They're very, very subtle and cleverly marked. Saying that, can you spot them? I have a terrible eyesight. I wear glasses for reading. I was spotting them, and I can spot them pretty much as they're placed down. Once you get your eyes in tune with the markings, and it's probably going to require some time and effort. I sat about an hour just going through the cards, shuffling them, going through them, looking at the markings. They're only marked very subtly in two places. But once you get your eyes tuned, you don't necessarily have to have brilliant eyesight. The subtlety and the way they're marked is very, very clever. And again, I think this is where Ben's put the effort in. The markings is brilliant. The explaining of the markings is very, very clever. He has a blown up card. He has pictures. There's also a PDF that comes which explains the markings even better. And I think reading the PDF is really, really valuable. So once you got the markings down, and I do recommend spending some time with the markings, the effect and the routine is very good, I think. The problem you're going to get, and I've had it a few times now, is the person expects a full reading. They desperately want loads of information. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of information, even the 2.5 hours that Ben has presented this effect. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of material on cold reading. I think for complete beginners, Ben should have included a basic script for each card. That's what I would have done. And I've gone away and wrote some key points against each of the cards. So when I am performing, I can get a couple of hits like kind of guessing, like the Fool. Oh, they've made you laugh, haven't they? They made you laugh recently. Things like that. I've just written that down on each of the points. I always find the Empress. Oh yeah, so this is a person that you look up to. They're quite strong, maybe in a senior position. That's the type of thing you want to start thinking about. Cold reading comes with practice. With these cards is a great method and a great approach to getting into cold reading, because even if you miss on the cold reading, you can do a couple. The minute I start, if they say no